Good morning. How are we holding up here? Day 3. I'm running on fumes. I don't know about you. Welcome to the presentation of the CRS Artist Humanitarian Award. As you can see, it's no secret, Jelly Roll will be accepting this award today. Let me give you a quick history and criteria for the award. The Humanitarian Award is given to a country artist whose philanthropic efforts have significantly improved the effectiveness and impact of the causes they support. This individual not only lends their name and influence, but also dedicates their time, talent, and resources. Past recipients of this award are Eric Church, Luke Combs, Jason Aldean, Kenny Chesney, Blake Shelton, Keith Urban, Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. It's a who's who, and the next who is pretty awesome. So you're going to find out more about that right now. And to lead the discussion and tell you more, please welcome CRB President Kurt Johnson.
Thank you, sir. A pleasure. Good morning, everybody. So happy to be with you this morning, and what a happy occasion to celebrate a great person who's making a difference in this world as we speak. I want to talk about making a difference. Let's talk about it. It's no mystery to anybody in the room that Jelly really puts his focus and faith and effort and blood, sweat, and tears around underserved youth, as he was one. Let's talk about a few of the things that he has done. He donated all the revenue from his first ever headlining show at Bridgestone Arena to initiatives supporting at-risk young people. And that includes building 3 fully outfitted music studios at the Nashville Juvenile Detention Center, right down the street, where he himself was incarcerated. Those studios run 5 days a week and run students through them that get skills that they never even could have imagined just shortly before that. His commitments to prevention and early intervention extends through his work with the Judge Dinkins Education Center up on Church Street, where he invests in reaching students before they become involved with the justice system. And in partnership with the Grand Ole Opry, a portion of ticket proceeds and on-site auctions tied to his appearances directly benefit that center. Buddy's Toy Drive that he puts on has collected more than 7,000 toys for local families during the last holiday season. On a national basis, he hosted a free concert for 16,000 first responders at the Rose Bowl after the California wildfires last year. But with so many people like this who win this Artist Humanitarian Award, what you don't see is some of the most amazing things. Those of us who've ever been around Jelly in a professional situation or something know that if somebody says, well, you got 10 minutes, he gets on the phone and starts working and regularly visits treatment centers, jails, juvenile facilities all over the country as he travels, writing songs and doing his shows. His advocacy ascends into policy conversations as well. He supports efforts that prioritize true second chances. Last year, he raised over $500,000 for ACM Lifting Lives, with a portion of those funds returning here to Nashville to support the music community after the terrible ice storms. Additionally, he donated 100% of the proceeds from pre-orders of his Grammy-winning album Beautifully Broken to organizations focused on mental health and addiction recovery, causes he continues to support vigorously. When you talk about people with a servant's heart, you're talking about people like Jelly Roll. Helping people, and his main thing is helping people that are facing hardship before it gets to a very bad place. So let's take a little bit of a look and see what they are actually doing here with the Education Center and some of Jelly's work.
How do we know each other? You want me to say what you said when you called me on the phone? He said, hey, remember me? You locked me up. I prosecuted you in 1990. Do you remember the year?
Oh, was it 99 or 2000?
We come full circle in a way because, you know, myself and Frank Abernathy founded the Judge Dinkins Education Center, which is a center that teaches at-risk youth. There's a better way than selling drugs or violence. It's a vicious circle that I've seen all my life as a prosecutor and a defense attorney, now as a judge. They leave our facility with not only a high school education, but a trade certificate and a license. You all right? Good to see you. It's important to know that these kids aren't sentenced to go here. We want kids who want to come here. So we do get referrals.
We have two components with the program. First side is construction. The second is the education side. To get that high school diploma is important for being able to go to work.
We start with experienced master carpenters, and we put them as leaders over a pre-apprenticeship program with JDEC.
There is such a wide range of construction jobs out there. Once a student knows how to use a couple of different tools, they feel more confident.
They helped me a lot. It just feel unreal. I got my construction certificate. I graduated early. They put me in a good situation.
I was here from January till May. I came in here with 2 credits, and within those months, I completely graduated.
If I didn't come, I wouldn't be where I am now. It was a fun experience too. You think about not coming, just come.
A little determination can take you a long way.
I was prosecuting this kid named Andrew, and I said, "Hey Andrew, what were you doing robbing this guy?" "Mr. Todd, I was robbing this guy to try to get money to get my brother and my mother out of the projects." That hit me square in the eyes, that these kids, the only people they look to in these areas of town are the drug dealers, because they have the money, they have the materials. And so that's what they start doing.
What made me want to partner with y'all is that y'all understand that a lot of those kids, they don't know it's possible.
When you start a nonprofit like this, it's very, very difficult because no one will give you money when you're just an idea. And if it wasn't for you, these kids wouldn't be getting the help that we're giving them.
You know, new playgrounds, new playmates. I was a new creation in Christ. It's what changed my life.
You haven't forgotten about where you came from and about people from your hood, and that's just fantastic. You're the man.
Love you, brother, man.
Sorry
I'm
about what
excited.
happened in
No, you
1999,
You
but
shouldn't be
nothing
sorry.
personal.
No, it changed my life. Thank you.
All right. Please welcome Tim Forbes, the Executive Director of the Judge Dinkins Educational Center and 2026 Artist Humanitarian Award winner, Jelly Roll. Come on.
What's up, CRS? Good to be back.
Guys, I got a mic here. Am I live?
Oh, there
Okay,
we
There
go.
we go. Tim, first of all, we just saw just some highlights there. From your point of view, give us a little sense of what goes on there on a daily basis at the Educational Center.
This morning I asked the students, every morning we sit around in a circle and we talk about the upcoming day. And I said, guys, what would you like me to share about our day? And one of them said, hey, tell them we get shit done. I said, oh, okay. I will be sure to share that with an audience full of people. He goes, tell them Bryce said that. So, you
Shout
guys-
out Bryce.
Yeah, if you guys see him later, direct quote. Our first challenge that we have in dealing with the population that we serve is transportation, getting them to the facility. We have to arrange for these young people to come from all over the county. And some of them, because of their affiliations with their neighborhood crews, gangs, cannot arrive on public transportation. And so we have to pick them up or arrange for transportation to come to our center. We start our day in circles. Our students also have high school classes that they have to attend for approximately 3 hours a day, construction classes that they have to attend, and then we have a construction lab in which the students learn pre-apprenticeship construction training. And at completion of our program, they will receive their high school diploma, pre-apprenticeship construction training certification. They'll have had mental health counseling and soft skills learning as well.
Tremendous. Amazing. Wow. Brian, give it up. That's great. Other thing I want to ask you is, tell us something about the kids coming in, that, you know, about the resilience and what they have to have just to get through it, that might surprise the people.
The students, when we asked to describe themselves, they will tell you not only that they are resilient, but they're hardworking, that they are easygoing, that they are friendly, and that they want an opportunity. And I think that is a misconception that is labeled among the population that we serve, is that when given the opportunity, these students will rise to the occasion. They are every bit as driven, as clever, as smart as any kid in the city of Nashville, but they lack the opportunity for growth.
And they're looking for it, and you're there. Thank God you're there. Brother, everybody in this room, many of us in this room, have had a moment where we have said, we've had the conversation, we've said, God, if you get me out of this, I will do right, and I will make the world better. I don't think any of us in this room have said that as intently or has come through as wildly on that promise and that deal as you. Amazing. Right? Right? Dang. So, listen, we can't get through your story in a few minutes. That's why I hate this is so short. But tell us about navigating that, how you were in this situation, and then what were the first steps like? How did you navigate through that?
Well, first of all, I set it up. It's really good to be back at CRS, y'all. It's just, man, I remember being on the New Artist a few years ago and just how impactful that was and the beginning of transforming and changing my life and my journey into country music. So being here on the night of the New Faces and knowing that Ella Langley's going to be choosing Texas later has got me excited and thinking about the future of country music. And I got to start by just my love for y'all, and thank y'all for showing up to see me this morning. I know some of y'all are hungover from Monday still, and it's really cool that you still came and seen me. So I think that a lot of people in here do know my story, that I was a kind of an underserved youth as well. I ended up in and out of the juvenile system, ended up charged as an adult. The Jim Todd, who would be here, but he is actually a judge, so I'm sure he's actually judging people right now, is he was the prosecuting attorney for my robbery case that I just got a pardon for in December. And I think that the biggest thing in my heart with this from the beginning has always been understanding that whether we want to acknowledge it or not, that accumulative advantages are real and that privilege is real, and that there are kids in this city right here in Davidson County, the music city, the capital of country music, that are extremely underserved. There are some of the poorest communities in the South right here in Davidson County. And I just knew that if I ever had a chance to get back to that, I would do it. Now, God has a sense of humor. I never thought that I would get back to doing that with the same judge that charged me as an adult. I never thought that I would end up in, because you got to think, when I was 16 years old, Jim Todd was my sworn enemy. You know what I mean? And now to consider him a friend and see what they're doing with his educational center, and we won't share the kid's name, but can I share the story you told me backstage?
Oh, absolutely.
We were watching the video, and I've met most of these kids, not most of them, but a few of them. They come to the shows when they come to see us, and he goes, man, I love that kid. I got to tell you a story about him. I said, I love him too. I met him, and he goes, when him and his mom got in this program earlier whenever they started this year, last year, that they were squatting in an apartment with eviction notices stacked up on the door, waiting on the sheriff any day, it felt like. And him and his mother just got their first home together. That's what's happening at this, and it's a very low gratifying thing. The criminal justice system, the recidivism rate is through the roof. So you're really, really just pouring all of their time, energy, and resources just hoping to get the one. But I tell y'all something, it's always worth stopping for the one. Because if we remember, the greatest shepherd that ever lived turned away from 99 sheep to go get the one. And I think that's exactly what the Judge Dinkins Educational Center does.
Amen. Amen. Can you share with us briefly what that moment was when somebody turned and you said, hey, that person's in my corner? the one time?
Oh, the feeling of when you get support, because I said this in that interview, but new playgrounds and new playmates are real. When he's telling you stories of kids that are afraid to go to the local bus because they finally left their gang alone, but they can't afford to leave their neighborhood. So now every time I've been this kid. Now every time you're going to leave your house, you have to worry about the consequences of your past coming after you, and you're trying to change your life. It is the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. So imagine how great it feels to see that Judge Dinkins bus pull up, or van pull up, or your guy pull up. Come on, baby, we're going to work. You know, it's just you come up in a situation where absolutely nobody's ever in your corner, and you're a 15-year-old kid like some of these kids who, like this young man, felt responsible for getting his mother a home. You know, in no situation should a child ever be the parent. And you go through those kind of kids, and you now have people in your corner. You now have a place you show up to every day, and y'all have meetings and you talk, and you're making them discuss their feelings. You're making them get real and express themselves and have honesty like they've never had, and accountability like they've never had. And I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm just excited about it. And it would have done so much more for me had this program existed, you know, and I think that's a testament to who Jim Todd is that he realized for years that he was the problem to a degree. He was just another district attorney reading state sheets and going, this guy's a criminal, send him to jail, with no nuance or understanding of the stories. And when he finally sat down and heard a story, it hit him like a brick. And from that day forward, we watched a man who had spent his whole life on one side of the law immediately go, I need to reframe this completely. And that's the kind of judges I want to see sitting up here now these days. You know, so if there's a man I get to pick with a gavel, it's a guy like Jim Todd.
And here's to more of that. Knowing what you know, and you know more than anybody about this topic, what actually works? What is it that actually, once they're into it and they realize, wait, somebody's in my corner, then what is the magic that happens after that? What is it that actually works?
Love and connection. Man, you start getting love, you start feeling connection. It's like we are all searching for connection and fulfillment and purpose. That is every human in this room. You know what I mean? And if you're not, then you're just not living. Because I tell people all the time is that if I asked you what's your goal in life and you told me to be happy, then right then that would tell me who you were. You know, is that life is about you and how you feel about it. But if I ask you what your goal in life was and you say to be useful, that tells me a lot about you as well. That's somebody who wants fulfillment. You know what I mean? And these kids don't know what purpose or fulfillment or love feels like until they get in a situation just where they're just learning trades. It's such a game-changing experience to take a kid who's never had proper love and connection, and anytime he got in trouble, it was only discipline and legalism, which is the opposite of what I've been taught in the Bible I read. So it's like I love that it's back to love. That's what does it. At the end of this, excuse my language, but you can put there's an old quote that says you could put a bunch of ice cream on a pile of shit, and you're gonna have a shit sundae. You know what I mean? And I think that this is about, you know, most of these kids have been, you know, no matter how much ice cream you put on that pile of shit, it's a shit sundae. They're baking these boys brownies, and that's what the difference is.
I want to give you a chance. You're probably about to do what I'm about to ask you to do.
Go ahead.
One thing you want to say to this guy in front of the crowd. What do you want to say if you had one thing to say to him, what do you want to say?
Well, there's actually two. One, I can't say thank you enough. The authenticity that people see, it's genuine. We did Jelly Roll did a show for the Judge Dinkins Education Center at the Grand Ole Opry. It was a 2-show night. He had the first show, and then he brought the students backstage, and they were stunned. They were like, there's food here. I'm like, yeah, guys, you can go ahead and eat, yeah. And they're like, all of it? I'm like, as much as you want, guys. Go have at it. And then Jelly Roll came backstage. Now, mind you, there was a second show that night, and Jelly Roll stopped and talked to every student that was there, to the point where I'm starting to get nervous about the start of the second show. He had no concern, but it is a true gift to make everyone whom you speak to feel like the most important person in the world. And you want to talk about a connection, and we see it, you're able to do it with an audience, but to be able to do it with a person who is standing right in front of you and be truly present to that individual, you are walking what you say you are, and thank you.
Well said. Well said. Well, let's make this official. Let's do. We got it handy here.
This is where
It is my honor to present Jelly Roll with the 2026 Artist Humanitarian Award.
Thank you. Nobody on my team knew I was fixing to do this, but I believe that it's important that we not just talk about philanthropy. It's important that we don't just raise money for philanthropy. That's why it's important that we always not just raise money, we always cut checks out of our own accounts. I hate artists that hide behind fundraisers and say they're doing work for people. Like, hit it where it hurts. And with that being said, I'm going to donate another $500,000 to the Judge Dinkins Education Center.
Oh, yeah.
Because if your boys get shit done, you can tell them I back that shit up. And thank y'all. I love y'all, baby. Thank y'all for changing my life. Country Radio, what's up?
Jelly Roll!
Also, if we have any wrestling fans, I'll be at SmackDown at 8 o'clock if you got a TV on your phone, baby.